Mean,
How are you?
we have some of that like Tennessee heat up here this week,
Oh my God, it
and
is.
nobody's really a fan. What sucks is like it's raining right now, so you know that humidity is just gonna like roll on in.
It's off. It is brutal. I cannot wait for that like 60s, 70s British cloudy drizzle weather very soon. I cannot wait.
Like, give it to me, give me that cool. Well, what's funny is it did get hot yesterday, but like the evening like was a decent temperature. Like it
Okay,
wasn't awful, but
good.
we shall see.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. It is Today in Travel. Haley and I have been traveling a lot lately, so it's nice that we're finally, I think, 2 weeks in a row now, maybe in person. Well, you were in Detroit last week, but we're both here and we're here to talk about all things travel. We have some exciting news about airlines, cruising industry, all inclusive resorts, some tips of the day. We have some neat things to talk about. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. I am Jason Poole. I'm a travel advisor with Cruise Planners and love to talk about all things travel, have a passion for it myself, and I love talking to my co-host and friend Haley. Haley, introduce yourself if someone is watching us for the first time.
Yes, my name is Haley. I'm the owner of Hospitality with a Flair, which is a hotel sales support company. We service hotels all over North America, and I like writing a travel blog and not having free time, so I just talk with Jason about travel
I
the
love
entire
it.
time. That's my life.
Well, hey, there's nothing more fun. Well, guys, we have a lot to talk about. Let's dig right in. This is some
We do.
exciting news from the government. We are now going to be able to renew your passports online. I'm pretty excited
About
about this.
time. It's 2024.
It is about time. Now, there are some caveats. It's only for passports issued within like a certain date range, basically current passports, more or less. You can't renew it if it's expired. If you have changed your name, like if you've been married, can't do it online. So there are some caveats. It is going to take a little longer. They don't offer the expedited service. And as soon as you submit it online, your current passport is dead. So I think it's a great method to renew your passport if you're someone who isn't going to travel for a while and you've got that 8 to 10 weeks at home waiting for the renewal.
I think that's exciting because I think I'm due for renewal next year.
Okay.
I think I'm right around that time frame, like in the next year, year and a half. One
Right.
of the things I'm super excited about is Olivia is going to be due for a passport renewal in about 2-ish years. But I tried to like wait when I renewed hers when we went to Europe a couple of years ago because then she'd be over that age 16 threshold, which means she can start getting an adult passport. Or I'm
Oh,
not
nice.
to do it every 5 years for those of you that may be
Right.
looking for passports for your kids. If they are under the age of 16, the passport is only good for 5 years.
I did. Yeah. Yeah. We did know that. So good information. Now, let's say you're wanting to use your passport and go somewhere. There was some exciting news in my favorite region, the Galapagos. So, Celebrity Cruises had 3 ships in the Galapagos: Celebrity Flora, my favorite, then the 2 smaller ships, Expedition and Exploration. These ships were always kind of the odd man out with
Just
versus
say
Flora. It's just like the Celebrity Flora, and then you have their sister ship, the Silver Origin. They're actually the same ship, which are just like luxury mega yachts down there. And then Celebrity had kind of these 2 ships, which look, that's how they got started in the Galapagos. They bought them because they came with a license to sell in the Galapagos or to sail in the Galapagos. Well, they announced they are selling those 2 ships to Lindblad Expeditions, and Lindblad is going to do a multi-million-dollar renovation of those 2 ships. I think this makes complete sense because when you look at like Silver Origin, you look at Celebrity Flora, their price point is similar.
it. Hmm.
And then you look at the other 2 ships, and it was just like it's like they weren't selling a consistent product or a consistent message.
No, and I think you and I had the discussion when we first, like when that was like all in the mumblings last week. I'm like, sometimes, even in hotel world, depending on the amount, sometimes it makes sense to bulldoze and start over.
It does. It does. And
By
look,
the time you spend that money doing all that, you gotta kind of figure out what works best for you, especially if you're going in a different design layout and just
right. And look, and Lindblad's a great company. Everybody that books Lindblad knows, it's going to be a little bit more affordable than something like a Silver and a Celebrity. It's going to be a bit more rough and tumble versus like, when you go in Flora, you go in Origin, it's like luxury glamping, right? Like, you get
it's
done doing your stuff, you're on like a luxury yacht, right? Lindblad is known to be like, hey, it's nice. It's just not going to be as nice as the other option. So I think those ships fit in perfectly with Lindblad. I'm glad they're still going to be sailing in the Galapagos. That's where they belong. So I think this is all great news.
I agree. I think it's great for branding, but keeping it in the Galapagos.
I was shocked to hear this. So with the news of selling the two ships, Jason Liberty, the president of the Royal Caribbean Group, said he wants to double down and expand in the Galapagos. He said, when you look at Celebrity Flora and Silver Origin, again, the same ship, it's like nothing rivals it in the islands. And he's true. Nothing is nicer in the islands. And he said they both sell, for the most part, they both sell out and they sell full. Max passengers, 100 passengers each. So I could see another ship or two showing up down in the islands. And, I'd love to see
Will you
more.
get your dream of it being the fauna?
Well, so inside story, it was supposed, long story short, I'll tell it in like 20 seconds. It was supposed to be Celebrity Flora, Celebrity Fauna. At the last second, the old Royal Caribbean Group CEO said, hey, let's give the Fauna to Silversea. And that's how it became the Silver Origin. It's supposed to be Flora and Fauna. So I hope if Celebrity gets another one, it is the Fauna. And like, I would love something like 10 night sailings, do more like versus, because people always like, should I do the 7 inner or 7 outer? I'd love to see like a 10 night, which is a little bit of both. I love the island or the city of Santa Cruz. I'd love to do an overnight there. So I'd love some more options. The Santa Cruz is awesome. So I think it'd be cool to maybe have another one that did some more unique itineraries, maybe with some overnights in Santa Cruz. So I would love to see some more ships down there. So I hope the Royal Caribbean Group follows through with that.
Well, heading to airlines, because that's going to be a theme here throughout the last part of this show.
It is. So if you remember, American Airlines and JetBlue entered into a codeshare agreement. The federal government basically said, no, you can't do it. Like, it's too monopolistic. You can't do it. So JetBlue was like, fine, we'll go to British Airways. And for the casual observer, they're like, oh, well, that's fine. Now they're working with a British company. But thank you, Haley.
There's no words. There's just this.
So, like, they're all one world, right? So now you're going to be able to go to like BA.com and like book your JetBlue flight, but use your American number. Like, it's
foolish.
They just use another one world partner. I mean, look, I still think eventually we're probably going to see JetBlue joining one world. I could see that happening.
It makes sense, especially with them trying to do a little bit more to London.
I agree. So, which, if our good friend Mr. Jarvis were here, he would tell me, wow, there's also nonstop flights with JetBlue out of Nashville, because he tells me all the time I'm a fan of the wrong airline.
Always.
So that's cool. Look, I love more options for people. I love when people can book flights and get points. And so, I mean, this is cool, but I do worry it's going to raise prices, not lower them. The only reason you merge is to raise prices, not to lower them.
Yeah.
but look, I'm excited because I hope if JetBlue like really joins, if they really become like a one world member and you're flying to like London or whatever, like all of a sudden, like you have access to like the Admirals Club lounges. You know what I mean? Like there is some. Yeah.
And
They're,
JetBlue has had success with this mint product rolling out.
oh, it
And I
looks
think
nice.
as that continues to expand, the money expands, I think we'll see a few more routes getting added across the pond because obviously that's your money maker
Yes.
right there. Like, yes, it takes up where you could have X amount of economy seats, but some people are paying like I've seen Delta One prices like 8,000 ish round trip to Europe.
But you know
On
what? So
the
I mean, remember,
seats.
like those seats are called business class, and I think we're finally getting used. Like you and I
Jason, did you
got
freeze?
Sid.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I was like, you and I
It,
got
it froze for a second.
like you and I got spoiled. But we have to remember, these are called business class seats. They're mainly businesses buying them.
Yeah.
So
But I mean, think about the price of that, like versus what the cost is of that. Like, those are
absolutely,
the money makers. And that's why, we've seen on this show so many news articles with people expanding their premium offerings, the business class offerings. Like, you're not seeing as many planes trying to fill up with those economy
no,
seats.
no.
Of course, they're making, I want to like, we're going to throw this out here. I want to punch myself in the face when I see these planes with a 343 setup in economy. Like,
Yeah.
that is miserable. I've done on one fairly recently and miserable.
No. Look,
Um,
I think premium is going to be I think that's going to make a lot of sense as far as revenue, but there's a lot of people who will pay two, three, $4,000 round trip per person for flights.
mhm.
But as business gets to be like eight, like it's just like people are like, no, like no, like not doing it. So I want all the airlines to expand the premium product, and I hope they continue to get a little bit better food and it's a better offer, like
Mhm.
make it like a true domestic first class experience.
Yeah, and I will say the best premium product I've done, I think you and I have been in agreement on this, is Virgin's
I
premium.
I am. So
It is it is excellent.
it is excellent. I am premium coming home, but as I texted you this morning, I'm upper class going there. So I'm excited.
I know
And
the
you didn't
premium
tell me,
stuff.
guys. So if you
I
don't
mean,
know,
like, I was not disappointed. Like,
no, it's
I
good.
think, especially for that short flight from JFK to London, I almost don't know if the upper class is worth it. Like, having done it, like, I've done it.
It's no,
And I felt like I didn't really get to enjoy it.
no. I agree. I put in a bid to get it, and I'm not gonna lie. Part of me was excited when I got it, but there was a little part of me that's like, oh well, dang, I have to pay for it now.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. Totally get it. All right. Well, we're going to move from airlines briefly. So, Apple Leisure Group is a huge player in the hotel and all inclusive resort work sphere. Um, they just bought the Hyatt all inclusive collection. So, all of those like Secrets and Breathless are now part of the
Zivas and yeah.
Apple Leisure Group, a massive company. They have a bunch of brands they sell under, like there's Apple Vacations, there's FunJet, there's Travel Impressions. I mean, it's just a major player in the travel sphere. Well, they have often been beat by competitors who focus a bit more in the premium to luxury sphere. So when clients come to me and they want like a luxury property, a lot of times I don't really use Apple Leisure Group. I use a different vendor because they didn't really play a ton in that sphere, which I hate it, but I like Apple Leisure Group. Well, they announced they are rolling out the Luxe collection. They're adding 450 luxury hotels off the bat. They want to add up to 1,000 more. They really want to compete in that luxury sphere as well. So I welcome this news.
I'm I'm all here for it. I like the balance. I like, because really, even within those brands, like, you have a balance of tiers. Like, there's
Yes.
kind of your entry level, there's your mid range. I think they have a great variety of adults only in there as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. Because you and I have found, like, with some all inclusive brands, not to throw like the reuse under the bus, but like, beautiful property, but the quality side quite isn't there when it comes to like food and stuff like that. Or sometimes you end up at some of these older properties that look like, they haven't been touched since 1996.
Yep.
And it's all the faded, children's color slides all over the place. And it's not what it is. But they have a really nice array of brands, and they're tiered, I think, appropriately.
No, I do. So I definitely welcome that. So, closing out the news story, the Points Guy came out with their annual ranking of U.S. airlines.
Hold on. Let me be Ken Jarvis here.
Okay. And they ranked them on a variety of scores, such as timeliness, number of late departures, loyalty programs, just like route alliances. I mean, there's a lot of metrics in it, and we won't go to the bottom.
I'm anxiously waiting this.
Right. So we'll start with number 6 was JetBlue, which that kind of makes sense. 5 was Southwest, which makes sense. Look, people love Southwest. There are some hardcore fans. So number 5, its top performing area was bag and change fees. Lowest area was lounges.
What was JetBlue's?
JetBlue, number 1 was cabin feature. Low performing was timeliness/cancellations.
That is true. I do have JetBlue booked for next February. There's a direct flight from Buffalo to LAX.
Wow. Okay.
And I forgot how much. I think I ended up getting it for 24,000 miles round trip.
Nice.
So
4 is American. Top performing area was route network and award availability. I think we would agree with that.
I will say that because I'm actually looking at potentially flying, oddly enough, to Seattle on American, because the award availability and pricing is really good in comparison to other airlines that I might enjoy flying.
Their lowest performing area was baggage and affordability. I don't know that I agree with affordability, but
I don't know if I agree with affordability because I feel like they're usually
right.
They're usually the cheapest. I mean, United Flags is the cheapest, but that's their basic economy that includes just a personal bag, and I don't even really count that. That's a whole thing.
So 3, United, top performing area, frequent flyer program, their route network, and involuntary bumps. They don't really do them that often. Low performing area, cancellations, and he also listed affordability.
So I find that interesting with their award availability, because I've always found Americans, especially now that I've been all up in my seats.aero, I've always found that the One World lines tend to have a little bit more. And frankly, some of the Sky Team, like Air France points, that one just shocks me a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Number 2, Alaska. People love Alaska.
People love Alaska.
They love Alaska. They love it. Top performing area was timeliness, lack of cancellations, the lounges, family travel, and customer satisfaction. All the positives.
Okay.
I can agree with all that. The low performing areas are wheelchair and scooter availability, working with them. So that's interesting to know. And baggage, they kind of have a higher rate of lost baggage.
Okay.
So, the number 1 airline for the 3rd or 4th year in a row is Delta.
Bias here.
No bias. The top performing area, timeliness and lack of involuntary bumps. That's not really something Delta does a lot, like the involuntary, we're bumping.
Yeah.
Not what they do. The low performing area, affordability.
100% agree with that. I don't know. I'm a little surprised that it's quite number. I mean, not because, it is TPG, but I don't know. I find their awards program is probably one of the worst, frankly, for cost.
I don't disagree.
Especially with the way they just restructured
their
awards program. Or rewards program.
You know what, though? I'm telling you. So I have booked more Delta vacation packages in the past couple weeks than I think I have ever, right? People are starting, I'm, part of my job is consumer education, right? And when I'm telling people, hey, if you book, if you're a Delta fan and you want flights and hotel, 2 nights hotel unlocks for Miami and Fort Lauderdale, it's just 1 night hotel. So I have a group going in November, group going in the summer. I've been booking all of if they're Delta fans, Delta flights, 1 night hotel. They're getting flights plus hotel less than the same flights at delta.com.
So, that's something I really got to look into a little bit more. But I mean, I can't really say, you and I've had the conversation on the timeliness. And I mean, you and I joke because they overshoot their times by like 30 minutes.
They do.
Being the world's most on-time airline. I've actually had, I don't know if it's coincidence, but my flight to Detroit last week is the first flight I have had this year with no time issues.
Yeah, I know. I've been pretty lucky.
I don't know if it's coincidental, but man, I have been boned multiple times.
Yeah.
And Atlanta's usually the issue, but yeah.
I know. So, all right. So we're going to keep it in the airline world, and we're going to talk about the tip of the day. Make sure to link your airline account. So Starbucks and Delta have had a thing for a while. Every time you reload your Starbucks card, you get Sky Miles. Easy. Lyft, I get so many miles by linking my Delta account with my Lyft account. Just so many miles. Marriott today.
Too.
Huh?
Delta and Instacart.
They just stopped that though.
Oh, did they? No.
They just stopped that. Yep. And then like today, Marriott and Starbucks announced the partnership. So when you stay at a Marriott, you get some Starbucks stars. So it's like, go to your airline, go to your profile and look. Like I just saw something the other day I've never seen before. If you have to purchase tickets through Ticketmaster, log in through delta.com, click on your profile. They're going to be partner companies. Click the Ticketmaster link. It opens Ticketmaster. When you book your ticket through Ticketmaster, you get that amount as Sky Miles.
And guys, also remember too, and I've talked about this before, make sure, I have a number with every airline because of alliances. I don't know where I'm going to end up. So I've got Qatar, I've got Flying Blue, like I've got a number everywhere too. Because you don't know. You don't know what ends up being the better option for you. But American Airlines has this really great e-shopping portal, and it's an extension you can add right in your browser. I can't tell you how many extra miles I've picked up from that. My brother and I bought my dad an Apple Watch for Father's Day, and I just went and looked at like Walmart.com real quick, and it pops up if it's a site that has, nice. A partnership. I earned 3.5 miles per dollar just by buying it on Walmart.com with that extension. And if you pair that up with a loyalty credit card, that could be 1 to 2 extra miles per dollar on top of that. There are so many supplemental ways people can be earning. I'm really sad that apparently the Instacart piece has stopped.
It has stopped, yeah.
Because I will tell you guys, like even with that, I double dipped with American and Delta with that because American is part of giftcards.com with that portal. So I would buy Instacart gift cards to there, get the extra American miles, put it on Instacart, and then, pay with my Delta card. I mean, like I was maxing out some double dipping there for a while. So make sure you are always connected.
Connect all the accounts.
Miles count, man. Miles count, and they add up.
Awesome. Well, guys, that is our show. We'll be back next week. I might be a little jet lagged. I'll be flying home Monday afternoon from across the pond. So Tuesday might be a little
jealous of you this weekend. I kind of just like want to book a flight. If I did not have a basketball tournament, I might have been like one of those people that just booked a flight to sit outside and listen.
I'm excited. I'm pretty excited. So I'm crossing the pond tomorrow, going to London for a long weekend. So just 4 nights in London, back on Monday, like a crazy person. So I'm excited.
I've been itching to do a trip like that. So I would do it in a heartbeat.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week.
All right. Bye, guys.